Welcome to BASA Connects for the week of June 27th. I'm Ernie Morris with the Business Association of San Antonio, along with my co-host Jen Bonomo.
Hi. Welcome.
Welcome back. Good to be back.
Always.
And we had an exciting week. A lot of fun this week.
We did.
A couple of good events that were really enjoyable.
Yes.
Saw a lot of new faces.
Yes.
That was neat. That's always neat.
That is always good. It's so many people are so busy these days, and you can just see so many new faces hitting the streets and getting out and about. So glad to see that, definitely.
Yeah. So I mean, we were actually at Smash and Crab twice at different locations. The first one was for BASA, for our Business Association of San Antonio. That was a neat event out at the Smash and Crab on Sonterra.
Right. Sarah and Jamal have a great program there. You know, they know how to do it. Let's put it that way. And putting the crawfish out there, and everybody was loving the boil factor. And then obviously, if you didn't eat crawfish, they had their chicken and French fries and sweet potato fries, and just what a great spread.
Yeah, and we had the setup allowed people to get up and walk around and network. And again, we had some people we hadn't seen in a while.
Right.
Which that seems to be happening. People seem to be gravitating back towards the events now. So that was nice to see some faces that hadn't been around in a while. Yeah. That was really a neat thing, and I can think of several. And we had some visitors. We had members bringing guests.
Oh yeah.
So it was a great opportunity to get some new people out and to see some people we hadn't seen in a while.
That's very true. Yeah. But we've learned crawfish is probably not what you want to eat when you're networking. There's a lot of work that goes into that food. that's very much the case. But you know what? They had fun with it. Yeah, they really did, and we were able to do an activity around it, so it's always a good thing.
Well, and I think that's one of the neat things about being more of an informal kind of group is there's the opportunity. People don't worry too much about that kind of thing.
No, not at all.
And it seems the members that tend to gravitate towards our group don't really worry about that. If they're more, say, stiff, formal, structured, they don't tend to show up for things like this. But our group had fun with it.
Oh, no doubt. There was a lot of fun pictures, a lot of fun activities. And I, like you said, always good networking. So you can't go wrong with that for sure.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then we went to the Smash and Crab on Bandera yesterday.
With the Helotes chamber.
A little different. Yeah, with the Helotes chamber, which is a little different layout. But that worked as well.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. It's, that's what networking is trying to figure out the best way to execute with what you've got. Yeah. And so that's what we did.
Well, and again.
And another good group.
Another good group and another opportunity to see some new faces.
Right.
I was doing some follow-ups this morning and just realized that this week, it seems like we've just seen a lot of new faces, which is always exciting.
Yeah, I always love that. That's always a good thing.
Yeah, yeah. So we had great opportunities, a lot of fun. Anything else we need to talk about from this week?
Wow. Where is the weeks going? Can we just say that? Because I know we're like at the end of the month again, almost. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. It seems like the time just flies. I've done a lot of networking right now. I hate to admit this, although we've been able to get out, but, a lot of one-on-ones. Mm-hmm. I've had a handful of folks that have just said, can I have your time? Let's do lunch. Let's do breakfast. Mm-hmm. Can we make a phone call? So I feel like I've over-talked this whole week, but it's been great contacts and great information, learning about different people's businesses and how we can help and how they can help us within the organization. And then, with golf right around the corner, a lot of that conversation, you know, about how to get involved on the grassroots part of, networking at the golf tournament. Yeah. So we've come up with some fun sponsorships and activities for that. So I just really, I feel talked out by the end of the day.
Well, and you make a good point, because as we get closer and closer to the golf tournament, and it's not an event coming up for next week or anything along those lines, but the chatter is starting to get more. the excitement level, I guess, is going up about the golf tournament as we start getting out there. I was asked about it several times yesterday, and the neat factor is we're going to combine the two, the Helotes Chamber and BASA, which we'll talk more about that as we get closer to it. But it's a great opportunity for networking right now because there are a ton of opportunities out there for people to get involved because it's not just a golf tournament but a networking event, and everybody's getting kind of excited about that. We're gonna have vendors out there this year, and there's so much going on. So
no doubt.
We'll plug it a little bit now. If you're interested in that, we'll be out at the Dominion, so you need to reach out to us.
Definitely,
because sponsorships are filling up pretty quickly, teams are filling up pretty quickly.
I was gonna say no doubt. I don't know that we've had this many teams already booked at any of our tournaments this early in the game.
Right.
Most of them are right up to the 2 weeks before, but it's going. Yeah, it's going.
Yeah, no, it's
going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited.
Yeah, this is going to be an exciting time of year when we come to that tournament in August. So we're getting excited about it now, and it's nice to see others doing the same.
Absolutely, and all the great sponsors already. So and we've come up with some cool stuff.
Absolutely.
Yay.
Absolutely.
Yes. So that's been the week so far. Okay. How about you?
I was out of town again.
Right. So, I know. It must be nice, World Traveler.
Well, Father's Day, which neat, and we'll be coming up on 4th of July right after this.
I know. You'll be heading back to see Mom and Dad. Maybe,
yeah.
There you go.
I hadn't thought that far ahead.
Well, you do realize it's not that far.
I know.
Okay. It's really just around the corner. I was just looking at that because I have stuff to do that weekend too.
They're 80 some odd years old. They're not going anywhere.
Well, I'm more concerned about all the other things that we have going on to make sure we work around it. That's good.
There we go.
One of the benefits.
What's going on this week? We know what we have this evening. You still go to the website and register for our event at Stoneworks. Tuesday.
Yes.
BASA. We'll be out at Stoneworks at Calabria in 1604 from 5 to 7.
With our South to West chapter.
Yes.
Which we're really excited about. Yeah. One of our first events with them.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And it'll also be our first time to do an event at Stoneworks.
Yes.
So, and it just in kind of getting, not really off subject, but we've done a lot of events for the first time at different venues lately, it seems.
Right. Well, you just have to broaden your horizon, and restaurants, I think, are starting to feel a little more comfortable. Yeah. They're starting to be able to staff a little bit, although there's still some challenges.
Right.
Because the cost of food and cost of drinks, and can we get the product in, and
enough employees.
Nothing, exactly. Nothing that they can control.
Right.
But, we feel that within the communities, the different communities, we need to support. So here we are. So very exciting about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they get the exposure to our organization, which they've all seemed to really embrace.
Well, and we're going to get to that a little bit later too, which will be a neat and fun topic.
Yes, definitely.
We have a lot of stuff come up this week to really talk about.
Absolutely.
But in terms of other events, on Wednesday, the 29th of June, the Seguin Chamber of Commerce is going to be having their happy hour mixer, Pecan Town Books and Brews. That's at 212 Camp Street, and that'll be from 5 to 7. You can go to the Seguin Chamber website if you're interested in signing up. And June the 3rd, excuse me, June the 30th, Sip and Single Business Mixer. It'll be from 6 to 9. In Encantrada Vineyard and Kitchen, that's at 27490 Smithson Valley Road. And you can go to Eventbrite if you're interested in signing up for that one.
Well, that sounds like fun.
Yeah. And then had a ribbon cutting coming up with the Bernie Chamber. That'll be Thursday, June 30th. That'll be at 121 South Main Street at the Bernie Chamber office. It'll be at 1:30, and it'll be for Hill Country Organize, which is a business that just kind of organizes you in your life. So the closets, houses.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So it seemed like a fun business, and it looks like a work from home kind of business. So they're going to go ahead and do it at the Bernie Chamber offices. So that'd be a good opportunity for you to go meet some people out at the Bernie Chamber as well.
Oh, very cool.
So there we go.
There you go.
That's what's coming up. Anything else coming up this week that I missed?
No, I think you're good. Okay. I mean, as far as the different activities so far.
Wait, you think I'm what?
I didn't think you're anything.
You said I think you're.
I think you're good. Is what I said.
Okay, I wanted to hear you repeat that.
Oh, here we go.
That was fun. All right.
He just likes to hear me be nice to him. I'm always nice.
Oh gosh, it's
no ill will here.
Yes, it's a rare occurrence. I wanted to savor it for a little bit.
I appreciate that very much.
Let's have a moment of silence.
Okay, here we go. I'm just kidding.
We can't do that.
No, we can't. Not on a podcast.
So our topic for the week is kind of combined with our question for the week.
Okay.
Because we were kind of the question, as happens a lot, really kind of spurred the topic. Mm-hmm. So we were fortunate this week to have somebody from another restaurant come and was networking with us, and we're going to talk about how to network in specific industries.
Okay.
So this week it comes from the restaurant industry. So if I am a general manager at a restaurant, the owner of a restaurant, that sort of thing, how might I network in a way that may be different from, let's say, an insurance agent? So what would we recommend for somebody from the restaurant industry when they come to a networking event? Or it doesn't have to be an event, or networking in general.
Oh, that's a good one. Part of it, I think, is they're just uncomfortable going into somebody else's restaurant to seek business, because it's typically where networking events happen at a restaurant, and then you're a restaurant. And in a sense, they feel like they're competition. But, one of my old supervisors used to always say, you have 3 chances a day to eat, and you typically don't eat the same thing all 3 times. Yeah. So it's really okay to visit other restaurants or visit other places, or at that time he was talking about selling, to pitch different opportunities with the different types of restaurants. And so to me, embrace it, because, you never know, especially in the same categories, when you may need them as a referral partner. For example, somebody buys out your restaurant and then somebody calls you about a catering. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to say, why don't you call XYZ at this restaurant, and they can help you? Because then you're both positive, when it comes to that consumer. But networking, is just a different animal. With them, I would probably look at what their goal is and wanting to try to grow. Are they trying to grow their catering? Are they trying to fill seats in the restaurant? Mm-hmm. Are they looking to hire and recruit staff members? Mm-hmm. Because that is a high turnover industry as well. Are they looking to get new vendors? A new credit card processing, a new person to make the to-go boxes, absolutely. A new person for cups or whatever. Because again, we've seen some shortages like that with straws. But it would be nice to be able to call another restaurant and go, hey, where are you getting them from? Because I can't get my hands on straws. So to me, network everywhere, just like we always say, come to the restaurant events, go to your chamber events, go to your BNIs, do whatever you feel your comfort level is and what works around your schedule. Because again, they're in a restaurant during lunch, they're in a restaurant during dinner. When you do those off the wall times, you're probably going to be able to see more restaurateurs than you can typically do unless you're a larger group and have a marketing person. So I would just say go. Absolutely. Enjoy it. Try something new.
Absolutely go. I mean, it came up this week because John from First Watch was at our mixer. And he was at Smash and Crab. First Watch is open for breakfast and lunch. Smash and Crab is open for lunch and dinner. So I mean, they're not. Yes, they're both restaurants and they're close in proximity, but at the same time, they're not. They do different things. So I'm not going to go eat. I'm not going to be thinking about going to breakfast and then go eat crab. So it kind of worked out that way. So, but it was nice to have him out there. And the other thing and I think it's difficult a lot of times for the restaurants, because when we have a happy hour mixer, that's when they're busiest.
Exactly.
Sometimes. So if there's a way to overcome that, do it. Because if there's one thing that I've seen just working with our group and with BASA and with other networking groups, is they're going to patronize a restaurant that's a member.
Oh, absolutely. The organization. I mean, granted, they want to support them.
Yeah, you got to have good food once they get there. It's like anything else to keep them coming back. But I don't remember tasting any bad food whenever we go to our mixers, so I don't think that's really an issue. But come on out. And the other thing that I would suggest is bring a couple of discount coupon cards with you.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Really, that's a great way, because that's a short turnaround deal. You could pick up a new customer or two pretty quickly by coming out to a networking event. So I just think it's a great way to get out.
Well, playing off of that, I have to say, and I won't mention names because I won't get anyone in trouble. If it is, gets them in trouble. But one of our members, on the back of their business card, is a free margarita at their restaurant.
Okay.
And I thought that was a clever idea because you're going to want to bring it back to get your drink. Right. And then guess what? She gets her business cards back. So she has them again to pass out again. I thought this is classic. What a great marketing tool.
I
just thought that was fabulous because, I'm going to go get my drink. I'm like, this is awesome. Over dinner, I can have it.
Yeah.
And then she's got her cards coming back to her. So she has them again to give out.
Yeah, I like that a lot. No,
that was a great idea.
I like that a lot. And I mean, I think sometimes the other thing, if you have a marketing person, all the better, so you can get them out. I think the other thing is that sometimes the owners or the person that you would have that would be out networking is the cook, the chef.
Right.
And it may not, when I was training to be a chef, networking wasn't necessarily a part of what I had in mind.
Right, right.
But again, we talk about this a lot with people who learn to network through the years. The only way you do it is to just come on out. And when people at restaurants are popular at networking events.
Right.
Right. There's no shortage of people for them to talk to. It's a simple product to explain.
Right.
It's not like they're selling whole life policies. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's just, it's really something simpler. It's something simple and you'll get business next week.
Right.
And that's the neat thing about it. And what's the value of a customer to a restaurant?
True.
So I think it's one of the most underutilized industries in terms of getting out to events. And there are reasons for that because it's difficult for them to do sometimes. But if you can get them out there, you're going to make some headway.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
Well, there's something to be said about meeting somebody that is affiliated with a restaurant and being able to, when you go eat at their restaurant, to be able to say, hey, are they here? To say hi, or just to be able to have that interaction with someone when you go in there. And it's almost got that Cheers vibe.
Yeah.
When you walk in and you're Norm, it's just kind of a cool environment, especially these days.
Right.
Because it's just, people complain about the customer service, not just at restaurants, but in general, and not having staffing and not being able to do certain things. So it's kind of nice to be able to go and support and have a positive come in with a hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I agree.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
And I think, and how many success stories have we heard that way?
Oh, no doubt.
Really?
No doubt.
And how many times have we seen posts, or we've gotten pictures and they say, hey, I'm out at such and such BASA member.
Supporting.
Absolutely. So that's really a neat thing too. What else would we recommend for them that they might do that they might do differently than, say, somebody else?
Well, I think just the other part of it is they need to really get involved in their community, because there are so many opportunities that aren't necessarily networking at a typical networking event. You can how many of those, like, what are they, bounce backs that they do with the schools? If the school comes in, they get a percentage off as a fundraiser, which is wonderful for a restaurant and their business to be able to have somebody try their product because they're supporting that cause.
Right.
So really getting out there and meeting those around you.
Right.
We see all the time our members have a luncheon for whoever they're targeting. So there's an opportunity for catering or picking the food up and bringing it back, or there's a meeting at the office for 10 and they've got to order food from somewhere, so it really just behooves you to get out and meet and mingle with people other than businesses.
Right.
It's the mom that's the PTA person that hired the caterer to feed the teachers for Teacher Appreciation Week.
Right.
It's not the business owner down the street, so you really have to kind of be a little bit of something to everybody when you're a restaurant, because there's so many different avenues typically that restaurants have to be able to put their business out there.
Yeah, well, and you made a point, I guess it was week before last, about marketing or about going out and going door to door and networking that way.
Right.
So, and that's part of that. You're talking about to consumers, but in the case of somebody who's in a strip center or restaurant, it's that's a great idea.
Oh, absolutely.
For them to go out and market around their strip center again with the coupons, come in and ask for me and get informal or give them something to come in and get a couple of dollars off a meal or something along those lines. Because again, the strip center kind of works the same way.
Oh yeah.
But you can expand beyond that as well, especially in some of the more densely populated areas. Like that street corner, when you were talking about that, it was when we were at Dr. Cavasso's office,
right.
if I remember correctly.
Right, it was.
Memory's slipping, but
You're
I think I
doing
got
good, doing good, buddy, doing good.
It's only, I'm still good.
I know. See, that's twice in one podcast.
I know. We're gonna put this podcast up we're sharing this with everybody. Yeah. Yeah.
First time for everything.
I'm gonna keep it in. When you start yelling at me in mixers, I'm gonna pull up my phone.
You've got to stop telling people that I yell at everybody. They are terrified of me. You've got to stop doing that.
Well, that's
not a yeller.
Being terrified of you is only good common sense.
Oh my goodness.
What was I talking about?
See, exactly.
So we were talking about Dr. Cavasso's office a couple of weeks ago, and that was a very, very densely populated area. So I mean, if you think about it, I mean, on that corner, you had 4 different strip centers. So if I'm a restaurant there, I mean, I've got a built-in lunch crowd.
Oh, no doubt.
So we talk about event networking a lot, but here's another form of networking is, it's not hard to walk in a door if you're giving somebody something.
No, that's very true.
By all means, walk in, do it. We both know that conversation happens from that.
Oh, no doubt.
And other connections are made, and it's just a great grassroots way to expand your business, and it doesn't cost anything.
That's true. Well, one of the restaurateurs, the marketing person, she's no longer with them, unfortunately, but she would have the chef make one of the desserts on a smaller scale and bag them up.
Yeah.
And she would go to all the different businesses around them, and that was her way in the door.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you, that was and still is my favorite dessert at this particular restaurant. And when she would not hit all the restaurants, she might have one left because she didn't get everybody she wanted to. Man, she would save that one for me. But I would say, there's nothing wrong with doing that. Ask the chef or the cook or whoever, hey, can you just make me 4 or 5 of these? And every week go out and let them sample it. Because if they sample it and like it, guess what? They're coming back. And there's always something that can be made, Right. So another way of networking.
If I'm thinking this correctly, you're talking about a high-end restaurant in this case, right?
Possibly, yes.
Yeah,
I'm not going to spill beans.
No, of course not. Of course not. But the thing is that what you do is going to vary just depending on what kind of restaurant you have.
Oh, very
true.
So
the $5 coupon doesn't work there, but that's a great way to go out there and let people sample what they have, because it's a little bit. I mean, let's face it, it's a little bit harder to get people into, to spend that kind of money on a meal in the evening.
Right.
Whereas with some of these places, you're looking at a lunch crowd that, it's a walk across the street kind of thing.
True.
So networking, as always, is very much subjective to what sort of business you're in.
Oh, no doubt. And, I think her target at that time was business to business, encouraging them to come over and bring their office, for dinner or something to that effect. So that was kind of where she was going with it.
Another great point. Let's have a plan.
There you go.
We ever talk about that? Let's,
a plan and a target. Can't go wrong with that.
What are we trying to make happen here?
That's true.
And in that case, that was it.
Yeah, it was valid point. It was a good one for sure.
So anyway, that was our question of the week is, what do we do? How do we do it differently? And that kind of thing. So hopefully we got the answer out there.
I think so.
All right.
Doesn't hurt.
Anything else?
No, I think it's kind of a quiet week, right?
Yeah.
Coming up on the next adventure.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about how good I am for a little bit longer?
No, I think we're going to start diverting it if you ask again.
Okay. All right. Don't beat a dead horse.
Yes, no doubt.
Until next week, if you're interested in having us come out and sample one of your events, come out and talk about it, give us a shout. You can reach us at 210-549-7190. As always, we've got to thank Game Day Media.
There you go. Thank them. Nick, who keeps us in how do we say this very nicely? Keeps us in check.
Yes.
Somebody has to.
Yeah. He makes sure the train runs on time.
He does. Unfortunately, we don't do very well with that, but he does. He's such a trooper. Yes. You want to tell everybody what to do?
Until next week, have an eventful week.